Kate Middleton and Prince William are reportedly making a big move, and it hasn't come without some drama. The royal couple...
This is the third move in as many years for William and Kate. In 2022, they left London for Windsor, for Adelaide
Cottage. The royal family just made a move that's sending shockwaves through the British establishment. And what they're not telling you about Kate Middleton and Prince William's sudden relocation is absolutely explosive. While palace officials are spinning this as a simple, fresh start for the Wales family, the real story involves forced evictions, family fury, and secrets that go far deeper than anyone imagined. Two innocent families were quietly told to pack their bags and disappear.
Tenant William moving house, going to Forest Lodge, which will apparently be their permanent.
King Charles is reportedly livid about the astronomical costs. And the so-called forever home they've chosen has a dark history that the royal PR machine desperately wants to keep buried. What started as whispers about unhappy memories at Adelaide Cottage has exploded into the biggest royal housing scandal in decades, exposing the true priorities of our future king and queen. The palace thought they could control this narrative.
It's time to talk about the Cambridge family's reported move to Windsor this summer. This is something that has been rumored for a couple months.
But the truth about what really happened behind closed doors is finally coming to light. And it's going to change everything you thought you knew about William and Kate. What the palace is calling a fresh start is actually a desperate escape from a house that's become a symbol of everything going wrong in their lives. Adelaide Cottage, the quaint pink-fronted home that was supposed to be their sanctuary, has turned into something far more sinister.
Royal Ascot is in full swing, and the royals and royal adjacent are showing up.
A place where nightmares began and trauma took root. Sources close to the family are finally speaking out about the really difficult times and unhappy memories that have made staying there impossible. But the full story they're hiding is far more disturbing than anyone realizes. The timeline tells the real story. Just weeks after moving into Adelaide Cottage in August 2022, Queen Elizabeth II died, turning what should have been a happy family home into ground zero.
Does downsizing mean something different in the UK? How are Kate and William downsizing by choosing a home
for royal grief? But that was only the beginning. The cottage became Kate's prison during her secret cancer battle, where she spent months in fear, uncertainty, and pain while trying to shield her children from the devastating reality. Every room holds memories of those darkest moments. The place where she received her diagnosis, where she broke down behind closed doors, where William watched helplessly as his wife fought for her life.
I understand that Meg's baby has gone crazy because of it.
The official line about wanting more space for their growing children is complete nonsense. Adelaide Cottage was perfectly adequate for their needs, but what they can't publicly admit is that the house itself has become psychologically unbearable. Royal insiders are whispering about how Kate can't even walk through certain rooms without reliving the trauma, how the children associate their home with the period when mommy was sick and daddy was constantly worried. The fresh start isn't about square footage.
Lots of people reacting to that clip.
It's about running from ghosts that refuse to stay buried. But there's something even more sinister that palace sources refuse to discuss. The timing of this move coincides perfectly with mounting pressure on the royal family's spending. And what they're calling a personal choice might actually be damage control for something much bigger that's about to explode. What the palace buried in their carefully worded statements is the most shocking part of this entire story.
Did you know that with the Prince and Princess of Wales's move to Forest Lodge later this year, he will become the first monarch to not...
Innocent families were ruthlessly kicked out of their homes to make way for William and Kate's luxury upgrade. Two separate families who had been peacefully living in converted cottages near Forest Lodge received the kind of news that destroys lives. Pack your bags, you're out, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. The families weren't given months to prepare or even proper notice. Sources reveal they were surprised to be ordered out.
The Prince and Princess of Wales, the Duke and Duchess of Rothesay, Lord and Lady of the Isles. My God.
Which is royal speak for completely blindsided and devastated. These weren't temporary tenants or squatters. They were legitimate renters who thought they had secure homes through the Crown estate. One insider's words reveal the cold reality. They were told to move out. I guess they were given somewhere else, but they were told they had to move. They were not expecting it. The official excuse is security concerns, but that's where the story gets really dark.
Now, before everybody gets their panties caught in a bunch, we need to address the William and Kate rumors. For one, many like to say that
these cottages are the former stables of Forest Lodge, converted into family homes years ago. If security was really the issue, why rent them out in the first place? The truth is far more calculated. William and Kate wanted absolute privacy and control, and human lives were just collateral damage in achieving their perfect royal bubble. Royal expert Ian Pelham-Turner exposed the real motivation. Close neighbors have been surprised to be ordered to leave their properties.
Kate Middleton and Prince William are looking for a fresh start. 3 years after moving into
so that no prying eyes can see the prince and princess with their children. What makes this even more twisted is how the palace is trying to spin it as generous. They keep emphasizing that the families were moved to similar or better accommodations elsewhere in Windsor Great Park, as if being forcibly relocated somehow makes up for having your life turned upside down. But here's what they're not telling you. The message this sends is terrifying.
It seems Prince William doesn't want to live in Buckingham Palace, and he doesn't care if traditionalists object. He and Catherine are...
If you live anywhere near royal property, your home security means nothing when they decide they want you gone. The most chilling part? An insider revealed the royal mindset with brutal honesty. Those houses are very close to the lodge, so they're not going to want any Tom, Dick, or Harry living in those houses if there are going to be royals there. Regular people are literally referred to as Tom, Dick, or Harry. Disposable obstacles to be removed when convenient.
The Prince and Princess of Wales are moving into a new home in Windsor.
And what's coming next will expose just how much this move is really costing. While families are being forced from their homes, William and Kate are moving into what can only be described as a palace, masquerading as a family home. Forest Lodge isn't just an upgrade, it's a £16 million statement of royal excess that exposes everything wrong with their claims of being relatable royals. The numbers alone are staggering. They're jumping from 4 bedrooms to 8. But that barely scratches the surface of this jaw-dropping luxury mansion. This isn't some modest family home. It's a 328-year-old Georgian masterpiece, complete with a chandelier-lit ballroom, tennis court, Venetian windows, and sprawling grounds that dwarf most people's wildest dreams. The property underwent a £1.5 million restoration in 2001, and now they're pouring even more money into renovations that include new doors.
Kate Middleton and Prince William are preparing to turn a new page literally. After 3 years at cozy Adelaide Cottage,
windows, stripped internal walls, renovated ceilings, and completely new floors. Every detail screams extravagance while they claim to be tightening their belts. The palace keeps insisting that William and Kate are paying for everything themselves with no cost to taxpayers. But that's where the story gets really interesting. Anti-monarchy organization Republic immediately called out this obvious PR move, pointing out that the couple already has a 20-room mansion at Kensington Palace.
The Waleses are set to move to their forever home, but it means two families have had to move. William, Kate and their 3 children
spanning 4 stories, plus Anmer Hall in Norfolk. Their statement on social media brutally exposed the hypocrisy. Why do they need another massive property when they're already living in luxury most people can't even imagine? But here's the part that's really making people angry. The timing couldn't be worse. While ordinary families are struggling with cost of living crises, utility bills, and housing shortages, the future king and queen are casually upgrading to their 3rd massive mansion.
William and Catherine move to Windsor's Forest Lodge. The Prince and Princess of Wales are preparing for a new chapter in their life.
The optics are absolutely toxic, and palace insiders know it. When Forest Lodge was last on the rental market, it commanded £15,000 per month. That's more than most people's annual salaries just for rent. What makes this even more suspicious is how they're funding it. William's access to the Duchy of Cornwall means this personal expense is actually coming from an income stream that's ultimately tied to public lands and centuries of accumulated wealth.
Kate Middleton, when she was 13 years old, took part in a school play at St. Andrew's School. This play was a fun school performance that told...
They're technically paying for it themselves, but with money that exists because of their royal status. And the real bombshell? Reports are emerging that King Charles is absolutely furious about this move. And what's driving his anger will shock you. Behind the palace's united front lies a royal family at war, and King Charles is reportedly seething about William and Kate's decision to move into Forest Lodge. While the official line presents this as a supportive family decision, sources are whispering about heated confrontations.
Kate Middleton and Prince William met back in 2001 when they were just college kids at St. Andrews University. Kate was a little nervous at the time, which makes sense because...
And a monarch who feels his heir is making a catastrophic mistake that could damage the monarchy forever. The king's fury isn't just about money, though the financial implications are staggering. Charles, who has spent years trying to modernize the monarchy and reduce its costs, is watching his son and daughter-in-law make moves that look like Marie Antoinette-level tone deafness. One royal expert revealed the tension. Charles has been working to slim down the monarchy to alleviate the financial burden from the crown.
Did you hear the news that Prince William and Kate most likely will inherit Frogmore House?
But William's housing decisions are moving in exactly the opposite direction. The optics of upgrading to a £16 million mansion while the country faces economic hardship is a PR nightmare that keeps Charles awake at night. But there's something much deeper driving the king's anger. This move represents a complete rejection of royal tradition and protocol. For centuries, future monarchs have understood that their personal desires come second to the institution.
Kate Middleton is getting a massive upgrade. After everything she's been through this year, the family is moving into a huge new home.
Charles spent decades waiting patiently to live his life on his own terms, accepting that duty meant sacrifice. Now he's watching William essentially say that normal royal residences aren't good enough, that he needs multiple massive properties, and that he's planning to break centuries of tradition by staying at Forest Lodge even after becoming king. The most explosive part? Charles is dealing with his own housing crisis, with Prince Andrew's refusal to leave Royal Lodge, and now his heir is making moves that undermine his entire strategy.
That's the ceiling of dreams, right? Look at the archway, just like everything is like enormous in this house.
Sources close to the king reveal he's been trying to demonstrate fiscal responsibility by cutting Andrew's allowances and forcing downsizing. But William's upgrade to Forest Lodge makes Charles look like a hypocrite. How can he demand his brother downsize while his son upgrades to an even more expensive property? What William and Kate don't want you to know is that their forever home comes with a past so disturbing it makes their current controversies look like minor scandals. Forest Lodge isn't just any historic property.
After the rumours the Cambridges were set to move to Windsor, it looks like they finally found their home there, which is going to be Adelaide.
It's a mansion built on a foundation of human suffering that the royal PR machine is desperately trying to keep buried. The property's original name tells the real story. Holly Grove, purchased in 1803 by Spencer Mackay, a man whose wealth came from the blood and sweat of enslaved people on Caribbean sugar plantations. Mackay owned the Lucian, Cane Grove, and Annandale estates in British Guiana, where hundreds of enslaved people lived and died to fund his luxury lifestyle.
So Clean Bandit and Zara Larsson's Symphony is up 2 places, which means Ed Sheeran has gone back to number...
The money that built and maintained this Georgian masterpiece came directly from one of history's most brutal systems of human exploitation. And now William and Kate are moving their children into a house literally built on slavery. The timing couldn't be more toxic. Just as the royal family faces mounting pressure to address their historical connections to the slave trade, the future king and queen choose to make their home in a property that embodies everything wrong with that legacy.
The Prince and Princess of Wales are reportedly considering moving out of their family home, Adelaide Cottage. According to the Mail on Sunday,
this isn't some distant connection or vague historical link. This is a house where slave money paid for every marble fireplace, every ornate plaster cornice, every luxury detail that William and Kate are now renovating with their own millions. But the dark history doesn't end with slavery. Forest Lodge has been home to scandal and controversy for decades. In 1936, the property became a symbol of royal excess when Edward VIII demanded it be given to his equerry.
Where do Prince William and Kate live? William and Kate's official residence is Kensington Palace Apartment 1A, where they conduct
Sir John Aird. The same Sir John Aird whose widow later held the lease until his tragic suicide. The house has been connected to royal favorites, questionable relationships, and decisions that prioritized personal loyalty over public interest. Even the name change from Holly Grove to Forest Lodge was controversial, with debates about whether the original name was distasteful, a telling choice of words for a property with such a blood-soaked history. The royal family has...
An insider has claimed there's a secret message in Prince William and Catherine's deeply personal new video. The intimate video was...
always been experts at rebranding uncomfortable truths, and this move fits perfectly into that pattern. What makes this even more disturbing is that William and Kate had to know about this history. Royal properties don't come without extensive background checks and historical research. They made a conscious choice to move their family into a house built on human misery, and they're counting on the public never connecting those dots. But the real scope of their property empire is about to expose just how out of touch they really are.
Do you need to roll your arm?
Do you know where it is?
No.
While the palace spins their move to Forest Lodge as a simple family decision, the shocking reality is that William and Kate are quietly assembling a property empire that would make billionaire real estate moguls jealous. The true scale of their housing portfolio reveals a level of royal excess that completely destroys their carefully crafted image as down-to-earth, relatable royals. Let's break down what they actually own and control. First, there's their 20-room mansion at Kensington Palace.
We're like sort of ducks. It's sort of very calm on the surface, but little feet going under the water.
Not just an apartment, but a 4-story palatial residence complete with multiple reception rooms, drawing rooms, staff quarters, a private gymnasium, an elevator, and a walled garden. This isn't where they occasionally stay for work. This is a full mansion that most people could never afford to heat, let alone live in. But apparently 20 rooms isn't enough for the Wales family. Then there's Anmer Hall in Norfolk, their country retreat that's actually a 10-bedroom Georgian mansion sitting on the Queen's Sandringham estate.
Prince William and Kate are moving into Forest Lodge, an 8-bedroom Windsor mansion with a ballroom and tennis court, described as their...
This isn't some modest weekend cottage. It's a sprawling property where they spend school holidays and private time away from royal duties. The house underwent extensive renovations when they moved in, including a new roof, kitchen, and completely modernized interior, all at enormous expense. Now they're adding Forest Lodge to this collection, an 8-bedroom mansion with a ballroom, tennis court, and grounds that stretch as far as the eye can see. But here's the most shocking part. They're calling this their forever home.
You would never see Princess Kate this angry in any other photo. Catherine always seems able to put personal issues on duty behind her and shows genuine
and claiming they'll stay there even after William becomes king. This means they're essentially rejecting Buckingham Palace, the most iconic royal residence in the world, in favor of their personal property empire. The numbers are absolutely staggering when you add it all up. Between Kensington Palace, Anmer Hall, and now Forest Lodge, they control residential space that could house dozens of families. The maintenance costs alone, heating, security, staff, upkeep, represent millions of pounds annually.
Kate Middleton and Prince William are looking for a fresh start. 3 years after moving into
While they claim to pay for some of this themselves, the reality is that royal income streams, security costs, and infrastructure support all ultimately come from public resources. What makes this even more outrageous is the contrast with ordinary people's housing struggles. While families across Britain face homelessness, unaffordable rents, and cramped living conditions, the future king and queen are casually acquiring their third mansion because 4 bedrooms isn't enough space. The message this sends about royal priorities is absolutely toxic, and the public backlash is building to levels that could threaten the monarchy itself. But the most explosive revelation is still coming, because this move represents something far more dangerous than royal excess. What William and Kate are really planning with their move to Forest Lodge isn't just controversial. It's a complete dismantling of centuries of royal tradition that could destroy the monarchy as we know it. Their claim that Forest Lodge will be their forever home even after William becomes king represents the most radical break from royal protocol in modern history. And the implications are absolutely explosive. For over 1,000 years, British monarchs have understood that Buckingham Palace isn't just a residence. It's the symbolic heart of the monarchy itself. Every king and queen has made the sacrifice of living in this official residence because it represents continuity, tradition, and the institution being bigger than any individual. But William is essentially saying that his personal comfort matters more than centuries of precedent.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to Belfast.
And that's sending shockwaves through the establishment. The palace is trying to spin this as modernization, suggesting that Buckingham Palace could become a year-round museum if the royal family doesn't live there. But royal experts are calling this what it really is: an abandonment of duty in favor of personal preference. One insider revealed the true scope of their plans. It's their intention to stay in Forest Lodge once he becomes king.
The Prince and Princess of Wales are moving into a new home in Windsor.
And they want to continue to do the school run, even if they are king and queen. This isn't about being relatable parents. It's about fundamentally changing what it means to be a British monarch. What makes this even more shocking is the precedent it sets for future generations. If William can simply decide that the official royal residences aren't good enough, what's to stop Prince George from making the same choice? Are we looking at the end of monarchs actually living in royal palaces?
Very, very interesting things afoot. I was unfamiliar with this, but they are...
The constitutional implications are staggering. How can you be the symbolic head of state if you refuse to live in the state's most important royal residence? The financial implications are equally explosive. Buckingham Palace requires millions in annual maintenance, whether the royal family lives there or not. If William moves permanently to Forest Lodge, taxpayers will be funding the upkeep of an empty palace, while also providing security and infrastructure for his private mansion. It's the worst of both worlds. All the costs of traditional monarchy,
asked to vacate the house as well. A word if King Charles ever paid them back. He should be paying for his own renos on his third or fourth house.
Plus the additional expenses of royal families living wherever they want. But here's the most dangerous part. This move reveals how completely out of touch William and Kate have become. While they claim to understand modern Britain, they're making decisions that show they believe normal rules don't apply to them. They can force families from their homes, upgrade to luxury mansions, and abandon royal traditions whenever it suits them. The message to the British public is clear. The monarchy exists to serve the royals, not the other way around.
The cancer treatment, how far Kate is recovering. But at least they want
Royal historians are quietly warning that this level of entitlement and disregard for tradition could trigger the kind of public backlash that ends monarchies. When future kings start acting like they're above the institution itself, the institution loses all legitimacy. And what's happening behind the scenes suggests this crisis is even worse than anyone imagined. What we're witnessing with William and Kate's move to Forest Lodge isn't just a change of address. It's the complete exposure of a royal family that has lost all connection to the people they're supposed to serve. Behind the carefully crafted PR statements and palace spin lies a truth so damning it could bring down the entire institution. The modern monarchy has become nothing more than a luxury lifestyle brand funded by public money and maintained through raw power. The forced evictions of innocent families reveal the true nature of royal service. When William and Kate wanted absolute privacy, human lives became expendable obstacles to be quietly removed.
Large pond and a tennis court, an upgrade from their cosy 4-bedroom Adelaide Cottage, where the family has lived for the past 3 years.
No public debate, no consideration of the impact on real people's lives. Just the cold exercise of power that says ordinary citizens exist at royal pleasure. This isn't leadership. It's feudalism with better marketing. The timing of this £16 million upgrade exposes just how completely disconnected they are from the reality most people face. While families choose between heating and eating, while young people can't afford to buy homes, while the housing crisis destroys communities across Britain,
Kate Middleton and Prince William met back in 2001 when they were just college kids at St. Andrews University. Kate was a little nervous at the time, which makes sense because
the future king and queen are casually acquiring their third mansion because they need more space. The message is crystal clear. Royal comfort matters more than public hardship. But the most dangerous revelation is what this says about William's fitness to be king. A monarch's job is to put the institution above personal desires, to understand that their role is bigger than their individual wants and needs. William's decision to abandon Buckingham Palace for his personal forever home.
June this year to strip out some internal walls, renovate ceilings and put new doors and windows in. And
shows a fundamental misunderstanding of what monarchy actually means. He's not preparing to serve the British people. He's preparing to be served by them. The slavery connections, the property empire, the tradition-breaking moves, they all point to the same conclusion. This is a royal family that believes it can do whatever it wants because the system will always protect them. They've forgotten that monarchies exist only with public consent and that consent is rapidly disappearing. What's happening at Forest Lodge is a microcosm of everything wrong with hereditary privilege in the modern world.
The estate contains an outdoor swimming pool and tennis court, which royal sources have claimed may be particularly appealing to Catherine and Princess Charlotte.
Two people born into wealth and power they did nothing to earn are using that position to live lives of unimaginable luxury while ordinary people struggle. They're not just out of touch. They're actively hostile to the idea that their actions should be constrained by public opinion or democratic values. The British people are starting to wake up to what they're really funding. Not a constitutional monarchy that serves the nation, but a private family business that serves itself.
Think you know about the monarchy. This is what the royal family is going to look like from now on. A friend of the royals told the publication it's the reason.
And once that realization fully takes hold, no amount of palace PR will be able to put this particular genie back in the bottle. The Forest Lodge scandal has pulled back the curtain on a royal family that's completely lost its way. And what we've discovered should terrify anyone who believes in democratic values and public accountability. This isn't just about one controversial move, it's about a monarchy that's transformed from public service into private empire, where royal comfort trumps everything else.
The Prince and Princess of Wales and their 3 children are moving to a new forever home in Windsor. William, Kate, George.
Every single aspect of this story exposes the same toxic pattern. Families evicted without warning because royals wanted privacy. A £16 million mansion upgrade while the country faces a cost of living crisis. Historical connections to slavery casually ignored because the house has nice chandeliers. Centuries of royal tradition abandoned because William and Kate prefer their personal comfort to constitutional duty. This is what happens when inherited privilege operates without real oversight or consequences.
People August 16th that the couple and the 3 children will be leaving the 4-bedroom home.
But here's the most chilling part. They genuinely believe they've done nothing wrong. The palace statements, the PR spin, the careful language about fresh starts and private funding all reveal a family that thinks better marketing can solve fundamental problems of legitimacy and public trust. They're not just out of touch, they're operating in a completely different reality where their wants automatically become everyone else's obligations. The British public is being asked to fund and support an institution that exists primarily to serve the people running it.
Oh, look at that, look at that.
Security costs, infrastructure, maintenance of empty palaces while royals live in private mansions. All of it falls on taxpayers who have no real say in how their money gets spent. This isn't constitutional monarchy. It's a protection racket with crowns. What's happening at Forest Lodge is just the beginning. If William can force families from their homes and abandon royal residences whenever it suits him, what happens when he actually becomes king? If he's already this disconnected.
Especially in the UK, they still use things that are like medieval. It is bonkers to me. Anyway.
From public opinion and constitutional duty as a prince, what kind of monarch will he be? The precedent being set here is that royal personal preferences matter more than tradition, public service, or basic human decency. The monarchy's survival has always depended on the public believing that royals earn their privileges through service and sacrifice. But William and Kate's move to Forest Lodge proves they believe the opposite, that the British people exist to serve them, not the other way around. And once that illusion is completely shattered, no amount of palace balcony appearances or carefully staged photo ops will be able to save an institution that's forgotten why it exists in the first place.